As the year comes to a close, we wanted to highlight some films that showcase queer past. We're often looking at the now with dating and relationships, but it's important to reflect on where we came from and the struggles that got us here. Dekkoo is home to many documentaries, period pieces, and biopics about LGBTQ history. Here's a few we recommend you watch.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of Historical Homos. Je suis Donald Brophy.
I do the French here. And I'm Bash, just one name, like Cher.
And today we will be discussing Shakespeare and Marlowe and the queereth there lieth betwith.
Do you know what? That really moved me.
Well, you know, Bash, let's provide some context for the lovely ladies and gentlemen. What was it like to be gay with all of the Christianity and everything swirling around Western Europe at the time?
For the listeners, we're in like the 1500s. That's when Shakespeare and Marlowe were born. And I think everybody always thinks about Christianity as just like purely anti-gay, anti-gay, anti-gay. But it's way more complicated than that. In the Middle Ages, there was, first of all, a lot of gays running around, the monks, the popes, the kings. We have plenty of evidence that there was a lot of boy on boy going on. As the Catholic tradition, the Catholic Church continues today.
To this day.
And there were also interesting ideological things that were happening. People talked about sodomy as almost something natural, right? That God had created. And how could anything natural be shameful? So there were all of these interesting debates going on. It's actually when you get to the Renaissance that everyone starts to be uptight about their butt stuff.
Right.
And that's because the Black Death happened. Everyone's a little bit like, oh, is God mad at us because we've been doing so much butt stuff? And so sodomy comes to be seen as a disruptive force in society.
Also a waste of jizz, probably, because they had to repopulate the planet.
Right. Actually, amazing point.
Every sperm is
from our
sacred.
chief economist, Donald Brophy.
From the chief Catholic expert on the panel.
All those queers are wasting that cum.
Every sperm is sacred.
A brand new Dekkoo original video podcast series, Historical Homos is a no-fucks-given guide to LGBTQ plus history. Hosts Donald Brophy and Sebastian Hendra are proud to introduce you to some of the gayest stories never told. In episode 1, they delve into one of the most infamous and lesser-known gay couples in Greek mythology, Zeus and Ganymede, originators of the divine daddy-twink dichotomy. Episode 2 tells the unbelievably wild and weird life story of the Chevalier de Lyon, transgender spy, soldier, and sleuth of the Enlightenment. William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe are the subjects of episode 3, wherein our hosts unpack the rumors, the hearsay, and the straight-up gay poems that suggest these titans of English literature were possibly bisexual. There's also a review of the life and loves of Virginia Woolf and the parties thrown by the Bloomsbury Set, a group of young modernists who continued the British tradition of plumbing the nation's bottomless depths of homosexuality. Or should we say, bottom full?
Philip? Why did you stop writing me? Doesn't really matter now, does it? You wrote me lamenting how painful it was being unfit to fight in the war, and I was busy trying to survive it. Watching men die, killing. Why did you decide to come here? I needed to see you again. Changed me, the war. I thought that maybe
Maybe you were changed in the way you'd always hoped. Are you? This is why you've come. I've always known, Philip. All those nights back at school.
Control yourself, Owen.
Who are we resisting for?
The laws of man. Of God.
Well, no man can judge us here. We're alone. And no God would fall to love he's nurtured for 15 years.
Science, then.
God, science, you can call it whatever you want. We are how we are.
We don't have to be.
Well, what's the other option? Misery? Denial?
Not anymore. There is finally an alternative. Oh, and that's why I've come. They found a cure.
A stylish queer period piece from the producers behind Call Me By Your Name, Lilies Not For Me stars Finn O'Shea as a young novelist in 1920s England as he recalls the love affair he shared with a handsome doctor who was convinced that their mutual condition could be cured. Writer-director Will Seyfried's lushly romantic debut feature shines an unflinching light on a dark and mostly unknown period of gay history. Evoking a handsome Merchant Ivory-esque production with a dash of gothic flair, Lilies Not For Me is an intricately constructed, lyrical, and heartbreaking film about two young men wrestling with their sexuality. The film offers a reminder that despite the many attempts to go through history to change queer people at their very core, passion and love have always persevered.
Forgive me, I'm a little caught up. Look, there's a problem I've got to straighten out with Judy Garland. Can you entertain Michael for a few minutes?
No, why not?
Thank you, Steve.
Meet Dennis.
Oh, Dennis is all here.
That's not Dennis. Dennis, I want you to meet Michael.
Hi, how are you? Heard you yesterday. You really play good. Thank you. Gotti tells me you're straight.
I guess I am.
That sounds promising.
Dennis never met anybody that was straight. If he did, I think would destroy his ego.
Honey,
Yeah?
they were all straight until they met me. Isn't that true, Steve?
Sure.
The dancers are all beat, Steve. Can we take a break?
What?
Can we take a break, Steve? The dancers are beat.
Sure, go ahead. Michael, have you ever seen the bands?
I guess not.
Scotty, why don't you take them around?
Do you want to see it?
I think you should.
Love to. I'll hold you down. Far out. I think you're going to find this very interesting.
Fascinating. What doesn't appeal to you? Voyeuristically, it's a terrific thing to write home about. I had my whole family here a couple of times. You kidding?
No, that was outrageous. That was outrageous.
Do they know you're, yeah, they're very proud that I'm a manager, as a matter of fact.
Newly restored in 4K, director David Buckley's landmark excursion into bisexuality, 1970s relationship politics, and the historical importance of gay bathhouse culture is celebrated in his 1975 film Saturday Night at the Baths. When struggling pianist Michael lands a job at the legendary Continental Baths in New York City, his wife Tracy encourages him and even emphasizes how special this institution is. Michael, however, struggles with his own homophobia, yet starts developing feelings for his confident and sexually free coworker Scotty. Shot on location inside the famous Continental Baths and featuring an unforgettable 12-minute scene of the actual entertainment of the time, both musical and erotic alike, Saturday Night at the Baths is a sublime example of the compelling and sensual queer cinema of one of the most groundbreaking periods in gay and bisexual film history.
It's true that there will be no revolution without sexual revolution. But it's also true that there will be no sexual revolution without homosexual revolution. Do you know what I mean?
I'm still more at home in a punk bar than a gay bar, if you want to know the truth. I'd get laid better. Yeah, more my type. The few, maybe they're not everybody's gay, but they're more well-rounded. So the punk community is always, I feel, very safe with and very at home with. Like, there's straight gay people I know today that are more conservative than my parents were. There's more rules in the gay world now than there was in the world I rebelled from. But I don't know any straight punks, meaning that way, that look punks but are very conservative in real life. I don't know too many of them.
Queer culture represented a standing critique of the entire society and its illnesses and what needed to be overthrown. A much more revolutionary take on the potential of queer liberation. And that, in fact, queer liberation represents a sexual liberation for everyone, including straights. And homocore is an expression of that in its time and place. That liberation, not assimilation critique. We kind of felt like we were putting the punk back in the homo movement and the homo back in the punk movement at the same time.
Started in the 1980s as a fabricated movement intended to punk the punk scene, queercore quickly became a real-life cultural community of LGBTQ music and movie-making revolutionaries. With this frank and fascinating feature-length documentary, director Yoni Lacer, the filmmaker behind Chokehold, Desire Will Set You Free, and William S. Burroughs, A Man Within, he chronicles the start of the pseudo-movement through the widespread rise of pop artists who used queer identity to push back against gay assimilation and homophobic punk culture. Queercore, How to Punk Revolution, is just what the title suggests, a how-to-do-it guide for the next generation of queer radicals. The extensive participant list includes Bruce LaBruce, G.B. Jones, Genesis Breyer-Peorage, John Waters, Justin Vivian Bond, Lyd Breedlove, Silas Howard, Pansy Division, Penny Arcade, Kathleen Hanna, Kim Gordon, Deeka Lash, Tom Jennings, Team Drish, and many, many more.
So I'd rather not know. I don't think I have AIDS. I've never been fucked up the ass, and I'm rarely sick, so I'll deal with it when I have to, not before.
Well, that's a healthy attitude to have. You could be giving it to every guy you meet.
Brian, I don't fuck every guy I meet. I'm very selective.
But you say that to all the boys, don't you?
What I am saying is...
I think I know what you're saying. You're saying you don't give a flying fuck whether or not you gave me AIDS.
Hey, don't try to shirk your responsibilities onto me, buddy. I wouldn't want a rubber if you asked. You didn't ask.
Oh, well, so it's your own fault if you get AIDS. No. It's God's revenge, right? Well, come to think of it, Brian, I did ask you to use a rubber.
Oh, that's strange. I don't remember you saying anything.
Well, I didn't actually use words or anything.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I didn't use words to let you know I wanted to be fucked, but you figured that out.
Brian, I think this is different. Besides, you didn't mention anything about playing it safe
That's
or wearing a
bullshit,
rubber.
Brian. You know it. Because part of what you like about fucking is being in control, and I let you have that control, and then you betrayed it. You see, what happened is I allowed you to satisfy your yang to my yin.
My yang.
Yin yang. Circle has a squiggly line, 2 dots in it.
Oh, that thing. I thought that was a surfing design, dude.
What it is the symbol depicts the dualistic nature of being. opposites yet parts of the same whole. You see, light and dark, male and female, earthbound and spiritual, good and evil, hot and cold.
Sonny and Cher, Abbott and Costello, less than them.
M&M's, Joni and Chachi, Laverne and Shirley. Okay, you get the point. But no matter where you draw a line through the center of the circle, you're never going to get all white or all black. There's a little good even in the worst, a bad in the best, and although I'm more yang in most things, I think, I guess it was the passive part of me that came out last night. See, I wanted to surrender to your dominance, your yang. And whether or not you realized it, you wanted some of my yin.
Is there going to be a quiz on this later?
Brian, I'm trying to explain to you why it is impossible that I could have asked for you to use a rubber. That would have put me in control, and if I would have wanted that, I would have put one on myself and fucked you.
Well, maybe you should have.
Hey.
The long-lost queer indie film Together Alone has found a new life on Dekkoo. Shooting on 16mm black and white film in his own apartment back in 1991, with a budget of just $7,000, filmmaker PJ Castellana wrote and directed and produced and edited and even catered this bare-bones affair as his cinematic calling card while capturing a very specific moment in LGBTQ+ history. The film stars Todd Stiles and Terry Curry as two men, both coincidentally named Brian, who meet in a bar and end up going home together. Later, they start getting to know one another, spending hours talking through a variety of topics, including sexuality, feminism, role-playing, Emily Dickinson, and AIDS. A fascinating time capsule that celebrates the value of good dialogue and showcases what a smart filmmaker can do with a shoestring budget. Writing in the Austin Chronicle, critic Marjorie Barmagen called the film forthright and artistically accomplished. It went on to win numerous accolades, including the Audience Award at the San Francisco International Lesbian and Gay Film Festival, the Teddy Award for Best Feature Film, and the Best Art House Film Award at the Berlin International Film Festival. Now, the film is finally available once again, ready to be discovered by a whole new generation.
Dekkoo adds at least 3 gay movies every week on top of its extensive catalog of queer classics, short films, and gay cinema from around the globe. Like and subscribe to our channel and join us next week for another new edition of Dekkoo Digest.